today's class. So today we're going to be working through the whole body, opening, stretching, and just releasing. So if you want to have 2 bricks and a strap, that will get really, really useful. If not, have whatever you have around the house. So when you're ready, let's get started. Let's start seated. So if you would like to sit on a block, which is always really useful to raise the hips a little higher. And then that also allows a lot of space within the knees as well. Now you do not have to sit cross-legged. Of course, the legs can be straight. They can be in a butterfly pose. It doesn't matter. What matters is you are comfortable in your sitting position. You can even lean against the wall if you need to help yourself to sit up that little bit taller. So hands can be on the knees. I want you just to rock side to side and finding both sit bones and then sitting really nice and tall. When you're ready, close down the eyes. Arms can be on the knees. They can be in a bowl shape. They could be in a mudra. It does not matter. Again, find some comfort for you. Wiggle the jaw from side to side. Release the tongue away from the roof of the mouth for the moment. And then when you're ready, I want you to start to breathe in and out through the nose. But if you are congested today, breathe as best as you can. So while we're sitting here, connecting to our breath, always checking in physically, noticing any areas of tightness, tension, stress, whatever you may have brought to the mat today, just noticing it. And once we have checked in physically, checking in mentally, where is your mind at today? Are you present on the mat, or are you doing things that you need to do or things you haven't done? See if you can allow yourself to be present here on the mat mentally. And that might be noticing the physical things. And once you've checked in mentally, check in emotionally. How are you today? Are you a little sad, a little tired, a little angry? What's going on emotionally? So all of those 3 things matter. So doing some movement, doing something good for you can maybe shift and change a lot of those areas that maybe got stuck tight, or you just need to have a release. I'm going to ask you these questions at the very end to see how you are. Having that little bit of self-inquiry, asking how you are, and actually being honest with yourself. And with that, I want you to start to deepen the breath, breathing in and out through the nose, unless you are congested. Maybe finding the constriction at the back of the throat. Finding the ujjayi breath, the oceanic sound, the wind within the trees, however you best describe it for yourself. And a good thing is when you're exhaling that ujjayi breath, you pick up the pelvic floor and drawing in the Uddiyana Bandha, the navel towards the spine. Let's do a couple more breaths here. Blinking, opening the eyes, continue with that breath, and let's move the head from side to side. Just starting to release in the neck, stretching through the sternocleidomastoid. And then we'll start to drop chin to chest. And then we'll look up towards the ceiling. Good, just a few more. And then I want you to start to look right to left. And if a full head circle is in your practice, let's go ahead and do that. Don't forget to change the direction. Fabulous, let's come back to neutral. In towards our shoulders, just lifting them up on the inhale and dropping them on the exhale. Again, lifting and shrugging and letting it go. One more. Good, let's start the big rotations. Now if you want to get the whole body starting to move, do that. If you want to start to add levers, which are your arms, you can do that. They can be bent. If you've got the space, maybe getting them going as well, big circles. Don't forget to change the direction. Good, coming back to neutral. Keep the arms out if you can, and our nice lateral side bends. Nice big stretches. Good, coming back to neutral after this side. Beautiful, have a little creep forward, but have little pads forward, just releasing in the lower back, opening up through the hips as well. Padding ourselves back. Good, I want you to change legs if you're sitting cross-legged with me. I'm going to come off my block for now. And I'm going to do my big favorite Sufi rolls, body rolls, whatever you want to call them. Just opening up. Now, I like to have a little pressure on my legs as I do the circles so I can have a bit of a stretch through the sides and back body. Don't forget to change the direction. Lovely. And we'll come back to neutral. In towards our hands, just squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Rolls, really important. And if you're feeling creative, you can always do some good old disco rolls, these type of circular rolls. Either push out and in. Lovely. Okay. Taking your hands back onto your knees, I'm just going to go side on. Doing some cat-cows. So using the arms, going to round, really sit back onto those sit bones, dropping chin to chest. Find an exhale here. Inhale, really rock forward. Use the knees to push you forward, opening up on the inhale. Again, contracting and rounding, pushing and opening. This is an exhale. This is an inhale. An exhale. And an inhale. Few more. Good. Lovely. Coming back to neutral. Let's have some rotations. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, create length. Exhale to twist around. Coming back to neutral, switching side, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist around. Lovely, coming back to neutral. Okay, still staying side on. Your arms, you're going to raise them up. They're going to cross in front of you. Again, finding that cat pose. On the inhale, you're going to lift up, puff the chest, and expand. Again, crossing the other arm on the top, rounding in, and then lifting up, expanding, and opening. Again, just repeating the crossing, but finding and connecting with the breath, opening and separating the shoulders, especially on this section, and on here you're opening and shining the collarbones up. So just a few more. Lovely. One more. And release. Good. Let's locate our strap, belt tie, shirt, whatever you may be using. So if you're using a strap like mine, very careful of the buckle because it can hit your head. So I like to keep that in one of my hands. Now, you are more than welcome to stay sitting on your bottoms, or you can always move and come onto the knees. Absolutely up to you. If you're coming into this position with me, it's a great time to start to stretch out through the feet, having a nice little stretch through the quads as well. And of course, you could always change it eventually in towards a toe sit as well. But this is not necessary. You could do all of this sitting on your bottoms as well. So you're going to take your strap and you're going to take it probably about 2 shoulders distance. And don't let it go slack. Actually have some good tight hold of it. And when you bring it down just in front of you, I want you to pull the strap as if you're going to imagine it's going to snap in half. But make sure that the rib cage isn't flaring. Everything is controlled. And you've just got that lovely pull of the arms. So I want to activate through our shoulders here. Keep that pull as you lift up. Keep pulling at the top here. And then when you're ready, start to let go and take the arm behind you. Don't let the arms bend. If they are going to bend, so taking the arm up, take the strap wider. Keep pulling up here. Bringing it down, keep pulling here. Good. Again, lifting, having a moment here, then taking it back, having a little pull at the back here, lifting it up, pull. Watch those rib cages, watch the core. Good. If you want to change the toes, you're more than welcome to change the toes with me. So coming in towards a toe sit. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more wherever you may be. Last set. Wonderful. Let's put those straps aside, releasing the toes, and let's all make our way to 4-point kneeling to our tabletop. So when you get to tabletop, drum out the feet, let everything move, and then find that lovely classic tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, knees hip distance apart. Let's do lovely big circular movements. My favorite way of moving around and activating and releasing. Good. And then we'll come back to neutral tabletop. So again, raising your right arm up towards the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle and reach underneath you. Again, lifting up on the inhale. Exhale to thread. Lifting up on the inhale. Exhaling and threading. One more inhale. Exhale, thread. Rest the shoulder, the arm, the head all the way down. Option to walk the left arm forward or up, back and round, making a bind. Pull the left hip back, squaring the hips, opening up through the upper body as well. Wonderful. Unbind and making our way back to tabletop. And we're going to repeat all of that on the left side. When you're ready, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to thread. Again, lifting up on the inhale. Exhaling and threading. Again, lifting up and releasing. One more. And then resting cheek, shoulder, arm, head. And then option to walk that right arm forward or up and making a bind. Good. Making our way back through to tabletop. Let's come into a lovely classic puppy pose, and we can always add a twist to it if we want to. Walking the arms forward. Option to tuck your toes underneath or leave them, your choice. Arching the back, bringing the chest, chin towards the floor or even the forehead. Now you have the options to stay here, or if you want to take it a little bit more, bring the palms together and take your arms over your head, so into a reverse prayer position. Now, any shoulder injuries, I recommend to do one arm at a time. So you're not putting too much pressure on those poor shoulders, armpits and chest. So Anahatasana, the melting heart posture, or puppy pose it's called. A wonderful one to open chest, open arms and release tension. One more breath. A gentle release of arms if they were out. Looking forwards, everybody, and we're going to scoop our way forward in towards a Sphinx pose, so onto our belly. Taking shoulders over elbows. The arms are a number 11 or a parallel position. I want you to pull the arms back towards the hips and then bringing the hips, imagining that you're pulling them forward, squeezing the glutes and opening up through your chest here. Okay, so protraction, retraction, so a little bit of core work here. So pressing into the hands, rounding and protracting through the shoulders, engaging through the core, and the hips lift an inch, but you squeeze your glutes. Imagine you've got a 50-pound note between those bottom cheeks and you don't want it to fly away. Releasing, opening, inhaling. Exhaling, contract, round, zip everything up, and then release and open. Again, contract, round, squeeze, lift, release, and open. Good, let's do 3 more. Contracting, rounding, lifting. Really, really activate through that shoulder girdle. Open up through the chest when you can. Good, 2 more. Last one. Lovely. Coming on down, bringing arms underneath you, tucking toes, making our way back and up towards our first downward facing dog. So pedal it out when you get here. Walking it out, swaying in the hips, creating length through the spine. So remember, the aim here is not to get the heels to the floor. It's about creating length through our spine, through the crown of the head. So if the knees soften here to create that length, perfect. Good. Make our way forward to plank pose on the inhale. Lower your knees. Shifting forward, knees, chest, chin, so arching the back, chest, chin to the floor. Scoop through and up to either Sphinx or Cobra, your choice. Back and up through to downward facing dog. We'll do that again. Shifting forward to plank pose. Option to lower the knees if you want to. Either taking a slow chaturanga or taking Ashtanga Pranayama, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Scooping through and up towards your Cobra, releasing the toes. Then up and back towards your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Raising your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bringing that leg through the gates of the arms and lowering our back knee. Good. Keeping the back toes tucked. Option to keep the arms down or raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers. Index finger up towards the ceiling, so Kali Mudra here. Lift up and out of the hips, open the heart, squeeze the glutes, a little bit of a heart opening stretch here. Beautiful. One more breath. Release the arms, circle them behind you, either coming down to the floor or to blocks, and have a little easy stretch back as a counter stretch for a moment. Notice that hamstring. Release through to plank pose. Engage the back knee as you plant the hands. Stepping back through to plank pose. Protraction through your shoulder blades, engagement through the core. Now I want you to bring that left knee down to the center of the mat, to the floor. Turn the toes out a good 90 degrees, grounding your right heel. Left hand stays on the floor, raising that right arm up, side plank. Good. One more breath. Lifting up and out through gate pose, so taking the side stretch. Coming back to neutral. Draw that right knee underneath you, keeping them hip distance apart. Very small. Take the arms to the lower back. Open the heart, squeeze the glutes, but just take the hips forward. I want you to think, oh, my back. So just opening up, very small baby camel, nothing massive. One more breath here. And come back. Extend your left leg back out to the side and lower the heel. Taking the arms out to the side, up and over to the stretched legs. So gate pose first. We're going to be moving around our mat, so don't get confused just yet. Taking the right arm back down to the floor for our side plank. So you can either stretch the arm over or keep it up, your choice. Bringing both arms back down towards the floor, stepping back to plank pose. Lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Raising your left leg up towards the ceiling and then bringing it through the gates of the arms. Lower your back knee. Option to keep the arms where they are or raise them up fine. Kali Mudra on the other side. Lift out of the hips, then open up through the chest. Good. Circle the arms, place them back down on the floor. Option to have blocks, remember. Push back in towards that little half split for that hamstring stretch. A gentle release through lunge, planting hands, stepping back through your plank pose. Up and back, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Pedal it all out. Raising your right leg once again. This time bringing it through the gates of the arms. Lifting all the way up for your high lunge. Find Kali Mudra, interlaced fingers. So lifting up and out, so finding the strength through the mudra. Opening up through the chest. Now, foundational posture, you've got to think about the knee over the front ankle. Pulling up through that back quad. strong through the legs, not dumping in the hips, but lifting up and out. 2 more breaths here. Good. Lifting up and out as you ground the back heel, opening out the hips in towards your warrior 2. So again, opening up through your hips. Rib shifting forward. Let's take the arm down the leg or onto the forearm, up to you. Back arm up, so think 6 o'clock. Take the hips forward and down with you, side angle, but with a little bit of a difference. Back through your warrior 2, straighten your front leg. Turn your toes to the long side of the mat. Turn your heels in, bend your knees, find that little goddess move from side to side. Stretching back through both legs. Good. Taking the arms out. Rib shifting back towards the right side, tipping in the body. So it's like a star sort of stretch. But I want you to bend your knees now, finding that goddess bend, but the body stays where it is. Beautiful. Back through neutral, stretching up through the body. Let's go opposite side. Shift towards your left, coming into that side stretch, then finding the goddess bend. Good, coming back, lifting up. Now, it's your right toes will need to turn, kicking out the back heel. Left toes turn a little more. Find your warrior 2 second side. Good. Rib shifting forward, option to have that forearm to thigh or arm down the leg, up and over. I'm doing side angle with a little bit of a different load of arms. Come back through your warrior 2. Now this is where you've got to pick up the heel. Just careful as you transition around for your high lunge, opposite side. Raising the arms up, finding the Kali Mudra. Lift out of the hips and then sinking up and open. Strong power through your legs. Good, circle the arms, release them down towards the floor, stepping back for your plank pose. Protraction through everything. Good, up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Wonderful. Looking forward, step, jump, float your way, top of the mat, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, deep forward fold. Again, inhaling, halfway lift, shift some more weight in towards the toes so we can find more length through the back of the legs. We'll do this a few more times. Inhaling for that halfway lift. Exhaling and releasing. Again, inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, releasing. Soften your knees, roll up through your body. Good, being nice and strong through your foundation and your Tadasana here. Gently bending in towards your right knee. External rotate, so opening it out. Don't sit in that hip lift up and out. Placing that foot wherever you want it to be, finding our tree pose. So you really want to squeeze the foot into the thigh in towards the foot. Open up from the hip, but make sure one hip isn't lifted. And then drawing your hands towards heart centers if that feels good, or maybe even having your wafting tree. Whatever you do, make sure you find a drishti and that you are really, really focused on that spot. Lovely. Stay where you are as I gently shift. Moving on through our next part. Gently, slowly close the knee. Extend the leg out in front of you for a moment. Make sure your hips are square. Beautiful. Bringing the leg just down, but don't touch it down just yet. It's lifted. We're going to do something called hip hiking. So this leg that's lifted, I want you to hike it up, but don't hike it this way. It's making the leg a little short. And then bringing it back. Making the leg a little short and bring it back. So hands can be on hips, making it a little short. So it's almost like sucking the leg up and really activating through it. One more. Suck it up and hold. Hold, 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 hold. Holding it here. Just a little more. My left leg is on fire. Gently release. Give it a second. I'm going to do all of that on the other side. So left leg bends. It turns out. Again, don't sink. Lift up as much as you can, finding length and finding our tree pose. Remember, arms are a choice. They can be wherever they are. And I want you to embrace wobbling, falling. No posture ever is perfect. We're meant to learn through. Good. Slowly closing the knee and extending it out for a moment. And then bringing it towards the other. Now, suck it up, bring it down. So it's not the hips moving, it's the actual leg in the socket and coming back. Again, up and down, up and down. Again, up and down, up and down. A couple more. It doesn't matter if that foot falls down. Last one, hold, 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 hold. Let it go, shake it out. I'm hoping that you really felt that fire up in towards those bottoms. Okay, if you've got your bricks, I'd really like you to grab them now, and I'd like you to place them on the floor just in front of you, a good shoulder distance apart. Now I'd like to work through Warrior 3, but awareness of alignment and how our legs should be feeling. So gently roll down, finding a lovely ragdoll, deep forward fold, just giving yourself a second from all that hip hiking, because we're really going to have to activate that same part of our bodies in a moment. Okay, locate your blocks. Mine are on the highest level. And I'm going to bring myself up into sort of a tabletop variation, engaging through my core. Now my left leg, I'm going to move it across because that's the leg I'm going to be balancing on. I'm going to take my right leg behind me. Now automatically I want to open up my hip here. No, you want to square your hip as much as you can. You don't want to lock out this knee either. We want to unlock the knee. And we're going to lift your back leg, flex through the leg. Really lift up and out through the shoulders, so no dumping here. Try and be as light as you can in your hands while still being strong through the back of the leg. Now you can start to creep up onto your fingertips. This is good. Okay, so I'm going to be very cruel here. Now the leg doesn't have to be high, it doesn't have to be 90, it's got to be a place where you feel comfortable. Get a little pulses up, very inch, up, up, up. Small little pulses. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Keep that foot flexed. Now, that right leg is going to come all the way around to the side. And it's going to flow all the way back around. Ouch. Again, all the way around to the side. All the way around, reset, hang, release. Oh, wow. Take a moment here, breathe. So I'm gearing ourselves up for something a little later. We definitely worked our arms, working into the higher upper part of our hips and hammies. Beautiful. Let's go left leg. So reset with those arms. You've got to get that foundation right. Taking the left leg behind you. Again, square the hip. Lift the leg, flex through that body. Now remember, don't let it sag. It's got to be really lifted. Unlock that right knee. Engage the core. Little pulses. You're going to go up, up, small. very small. It's not this huge movement. It's very, very small. Good. Maybe coming up onto fingertips if you can. Ooh. Then if you're ready, you would take it out towards the side. Don't worry if you fall off your block, that's fine. And we bring it back. Again, out towards the side, and we bring it back. Again, out towards the side, and we bring it back. Out towards the side, and we bring it back. And we reset, we let it go. Oh, well done. So I'm going to keep these blocks, and I'm going to move them. I'm going to widen my feet, turn the toes out, move my blocks behind me as I bring my arms down, either staying up here for a type of malasana, or you've even got those blocks to come down to sit on, just giving yourself a little ease, because that was a definitely fire through my legs. Wonderful, everybody. Really, really. You've got to remember, you don't have to do all the vinyasas. You don't have to do all of those fast things to really activate through our bodies. It's having the intention, understanding what our bodies are doing, so you don't have to do many. Gently lift up, turn it around. So even if you were to do 5 and you were to have the best intention with each of those 5, it's better for you. Wonderful. Now moving those blocks aside, we're going to gently come down towards our bottoms, and we're going to extend our legs out in front of us. Good. Give everything a little ease. Okay, so your arms can be behind you to support you. You've even got bricks if you need to, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you're supported, you're not rounding here, and really lift it up. Okay, now my feet are hip distance apart. I'm going to flex through my feet. External rotation, so really working from the top of the hip as we open out. And then as we bring it in, the toes are going to kiss. Now, it's better to have it just a little wider, because obviously when you come into that internal rotation, some of you might have more ability than I have, and they might come all the way down. So again, it's just opening out and bring it in. Now, it's not the ankles flapping. It is really at the top of those sockets. So working as one. Now, funny enough, we're all going to have a leg that's more flexible than the other. My right leg really does not like internal rotation at all. And funny enough, that's where I've got my knee injury, because I've always forced it out my turnout, and now when I'm trying to take it in the opposite direction, the muscles are really tight. So a couple more. Lovely. And then just let it relax and release. Having those props handy if you need them, I'd like you to bend your right knee up towards you, and I'd like you to open the knee out. So either a fist, 4 fingers, just as long as that leg doesn't slide underneath. You can, of course, have that same idea as tree. Pulling that left hip in, just like we did when we did that sort of hip socket tightening. And then this block can always come underneath if the knee doesn't touch the floor. Squaring the shoulders, squaring the hips, option to use your strap. Raising up on the inhale. Exhale, coming forward. Don't round just yet. And then allow the body to come forwards. Janushirasana, head to knee posture, which I think is always really confusing, because yes, head to knee, but if you're doing your head to knee, sometimes you're taking the rounding through the shoulders, you're rounding through the pelvis, and you're not getting the full stretch that the posture can offer. So you want to try and find the length as much as you can. Wonderful. Gently coming up. Now, where I've been going through, you're going to take this leg up, over and on toward the blade of the foot. Options to stay here, especially if you've got any knee issues, or rock under and cross and give yourself a little shimmy. You can always sit on a block or something here. Now, this is definitely enough for me today. If you want to take it a little further forward, you can, or let's combine the arms that we've been working for. Right arm can lift up, or it could be left arm. Depending if you want to work opposites, you can do opposites, or you can do the same. It doesn't matter, as long as you just do the opposite on the other side. So you can either take a hold of the elbow, you can the thumb down, and then all the way around. So when I was doing my training, I always used to get confused. You know, if the right knee's uncrossed, do I use the right arm? So the explanation that we've always been given is technically it should be opposite, so then you're working with balance. Again, if you're doing right arm, right knee, we'll just do left arm, left knee. As long as there's an equal stretch, that's all that matters. Now in traditional cow face, you can be sitting upright. Of course, you can come forward. How about even taking a side stretch? Try it. Try all the difference. Beautiful. Gently release. Give yourself a moment to untangle those legs. Maybe even windscreen wipe from side to side. Lovely. And extend the legs back out. So let's do Janushirasana on the other side. Left knee bending in, opening out. Remember to think about that foot. Don't let it slide under. It's always going to be active. Sitting on both those sit bones, pulling that right hip in so everything is square, and of course coming round. And if you want to use your strap, you can always find the foot, lengthen up on your inhale. But if you're using the strap, don't take all of it in the upper body. No. So I want to find length first. Try and take it in the pelvis as you come forward, and just have that little pull on that strap. That's very, very important. The intention is that obviously straight leg, the opening of the hip, and maybe finding a little bit of length through the upper and lower part of the body. Like I said, yes, of course we can round. For me, when I round, the stretch changes in towards the back of the knee. So maybe spend a moment here finding length first, see what muscles get a stretch, and then take it to the other way and see what changes. Never be afraid to be in a posture and think, hey, what happens if I was to change something? It's got to work for your body. Gently release, and then we'll start to come up. Now that left leg is going to cross over the top of the right. Options to stay here or roll and bring the other leg. I always need to lift myself up to cross the legs to allow both sit bones to sit on the floor. On this side, my knees do not align, and that's absolutely fine. Of course, you can always throw the sit bone, the block underneath the sit bones to square everything. Now, an option I did not give on the first side is using a strap for the arms. So you could wear it like a sash. And I'm going to use my left arm because I used my right arm on the side. So I'm going to hold on to the strap behind me. So of course you can use the elbow here or the thumb down, take it all the way around, and then find the strap, because your shoulders are working in internal and external rotation here. So that use of strap can help you find a little bit more space. It can always find a little bit more ease, and maybe take any pressure off anyone who's got any shoulder injuries as well. So if you took a forward bend, take a forward bend. If you took a side bend, make sure you're doing the side bend on the opposite way. Good. Gently ease out of it, moving any props and things out of the way. And then releasing through your legs and then giving them a nice little ease here. Good, one thing I do like to do is sort of rock back and give it a little windscreen wipe, a little ease here. Wonderful. Beautiful. Let's start to squidge our way forward towards your top of the mat. Let's have our blocks handy because we're going to do a nice supported fish. Okay. So what I want to do with our supported fish is take your first block and you're going to place that in between the shoulder blades. Okay. Your second block is going to go underneath the head. So for me, this is first block, that's second block. For some people, that's first block, that's second block. Doesn't matter, as long as it's all in the right place. So you can have your block on the middle settings. You can have them here. Now, if you don't have blocks, I'm going to show you what you can do as well. So legs can be bent to start with, starting to lower yourself down onto the block, so in between the shoulder blades. And then you can take your other brick and it's the back of the head. Now knees can be bent here, they can be in a butterfly, they can be straight, it doesn't matter. So this is a wonderful place to allow the heart to open and to release. And again, just releasing in towards our shoulders so the arms can be out. Now, if you've got a bolster, you can just put the bolster straight out and then lay back on that. If you've got no bricks, or maybe you've just got one brick, so we could play around with one brick, I'd probably take it between my shoulder blades and then let my head rest. There's a lovely way of working that. If you've got no bricks, what I would do is come down to my forearms. I would support my lower back here or even cup my bottom, lift my chest, open up my heart, and I would be here. Lots and lots of options. If you're lucky enough to own a yoga wheel, how about using that? Good. Wherever you are, we start to remove blocks out the way. I want you to come down onto your backs. Keep those blocks close by, or pillow, or bolster, or whatever it is you have, and bend the knees. Have a little ease, moving the head. Okay, next into our neck supported posture, so we can take some of the pressure away. Feet hip distance apart, make sure that you're happy with the knee over the ankle. Supported bridge. So if you know how to do that, please go ahead straight away and do that. If not, you can grab your brick, it can be at any level. Slide it underneath the bottom so the sacrum is supported. So I'm on the lowest brick here and I can be here, this is enough. You can flip it up onto the middle, or if you're feeling adventurous today, all the way up towards the top. Make sure the head and the neck are not crunched, you're not crunching that cervical spine, so it's nice and lengthened, and that the arms are long and down beside you. Now, if you haven't got a brick, how about using the bolster underneath the body? Obviously, it won't be as high as I am now. A cushion, a book, or something. Or if you've got none of that and you're thinking, Kelly, I really don't have the time, you could do a real active bridge here. Again, just holding and lifting up, squeezing through the inner thighs. Again, you always have a choice of what you are doing. Let's have 4 more breaths wherever we may be. Last breath. Lovely. So gently sliding your prop out of the way, coming back down, Bringing the soles of the feet together. Maybe you use the blocks to support the thighs, maybe you don't. Taking the hands to the top of the thighs, press away. Now, it's not the inside of the thighs, it's definitely the outside. So you want to imagine you're pushing the hips away, maybe flaring the rib cage. Play around with tilting of the pelvis, and so you can get that decompression of the spinal cord. Lovely, and gently release. Moving the head from side to side as you release through the neck. And then we'll draw our knees in towards our chest. Having that little rock from side to side. Good, let's make our way in towards a happy baby. So this could be grabbing the outside, the inside, the big toes using your strap. And again, being that happy baby as you rock from side to side. So we've definitely worked through all of our body today. Stretching, opening, releasing, holding. And we've worked slowly and mindfully. Lovely. Close the legs. Maybe the arms at a capital E. Drop the knees over towards your left side, so into your supine twist. So again, working with your digestive system, so working with the right side. Lifting up and over to the opposite side. Coming back to neutral, I encourage you now to do any stretch, any twist, or anything that your body needs before preparing ourselves for our Shavasana. So this Shavasana could be the traditional one where the legs and the arms are away from the body. They could be on the body, you could be on the side, you could be on your belly, you could be on a seat. It doesn't matter. What matters is you become comfortable. So when you're ready to find that comfort, now, any lower back issues, I definitely recommend to bend the knees. Of course, you can knock the knees in or even slide a bolster underneath the knees. Closing down the eyes, finding the inhale through the nose and exhaling slowly out through our mouths. Again. Inhaling fully. Exhaling. So while you're breathing and you're letting go, check in physically. How do you feel now? Have you released tension? Have you even thought about, have you moved any bits? Whatever it is, just checking in physically. Checking in mentally, were you able to just concentrate with me, so being present in the moment all the way through our flow? Or did something pop up like, oh, I needed to do this, or oh, I needed to do that? What was the self-chatter like, that internal chatter? Was it there constantly? Or did it go away just for a few moments? Check in emotionally. Has the mood shifted? Whatever, just notice how you are feeling, checking in. How are you? How do you feel? So with that, you can stay as you are. You could bring a little life to your fingers and toes. You could always roll to a side first. And then we could bring ourselves to a seat if you want to. You do not have to. You can stay exactly as you are. So wherever you get to, your side, your seat, on your back, mentally or physically drawing hands to heart centers, thanking our bodies, being proud of ourselves for stepping on the mat, even if it was just a few exercises here and there. It's always good. Thank you for letting me be your guide, and I wish you a beautiful day wherever you may do. Namaste.